Alright, hello everyone, Silver here. Oh, there's a new event. Cool. Uh, I did have a little bit I wanted to talk about. Just a little bit. So, we got some info on some of the new characters, coming in 3.0. Specifically, like, Pyroi, which is the Faith and Stand, the proxy's, like, playable version. We believe because the animation, like, it's not animated, it's just going to be an A rank, which is typical for the videos not to animate the character if it's A rank. But what we really got information on was Norma. Because we already knew what Valina was, but now we have information on Norma. And we're pretty sure she's an S rank, despite the A's all over her. Pretty sure she's an S rank because she's animated in the video, as well as they changed her outfit slightly, which I'm disapproval of. Like, I'm disapproving of it because we already got a 3D model in game. We already had one. And they decided, well, there's a little bit of chest here, so we're gonna just cover it up. Which might not sound like a big deal. And overall, it's technically not a big deal. It doesn't change any, like, gameplay, really. She is a fire stun, not a rupture support like I fucking wanted. Because we only have, like, 2 rupture support in the fucking game. I'm not getting Lucia, by the way. I'm just gonna skip her. Because I don't want to have to get her and then also her Winjin. I have Pan and Yenhu, so not gonna bother pulling Lucia. But they did change. They did honestly change fucking Norma's, like, outfit, technically. And again, as I said, it might not sound like a big deal, but it's still a form of censorship. It's some... It's a form of censorship that is, not great, honestly. Yeah. Any type of censorship isn't good. Because once you start censoring something, the next thing is going to be, oh, well, what are we going to have to censor next? And when somebody gets something censored, it's, you give an inch, they will want to take a mile. That's just how censorship goes. You try to just give them that 1 inch, they just decide, I want the whole mile. Give me all of it. Which is very detrimental to, like, it's detrimental to art as a whole, no matter what kind of art. It is just detrimental to it. Whether that be the art of making games, or making movies, or animated shows. Any kind of censorship is bad. Genuinely. Because again, it's you give an inch, they take a mile. Once one thing is, oh well, now I can't complain about that in that franchise, that video game. So now I'm gonna complain about the next thing until it gets changed because you gave that inch. You gave motherfuckers the inch that made it, uh, you know, you gave them the inch that they wanted, but that's not good enough. And again, it's not a huge change. They just added cloth over the top of her chest, which before was open, to be fair. It was similarly open to like this, but it came down a little bit lower. It wasn't even risque whatsoever. You couldn't even call it risque. It just showed a bit of her chest. And they decided, yeah, no, let's change that. After having already made the in-game model. Which had the open chest. It'd be different if they, like, made the in-game model that first. It would be a good bit different, because then it's, oh, that's what you intended. Your intent was to have that open, and then you changed it later. For what reason? Genuinely. Like, it's just weird to do that. Because now you're seeing it as something that's like, oh, well, this is bad, so we have to cover it. Like, what was bad about it? What part of it was even really risque? It wasn't. It was just a fucking outfit. It'd be different. Again, it's just like... It would be different if you had made that the new version that you are showing through the actual art, the original in-game model, rather than, oh, hey, let's show you this one and then change it later. Miyabi is a bit of a different story, because that one, Miyabi actually had, like, a face issue. So it was more of a fix rather than, like, a censorship. Because I could imagine some people would say, oh, but, like, they changed Miyabi's model. Like, later on. And everybody, or most people liked it. They liked the change. But that's just a different fucking story. In general. Excuse me. Doesn't matter about your fucking shield. But yeah, no, it's genuinely something that's like, I hate censorship of any kind. Censorship in and of itself is just terrible. Because it gets to... It gets to that aspect of like, oh hey, what is and isn't acceptable in, like, let's say a video game, for instance. They're all fucking HP, aren't they? They are. They all had HP, what the fuck? But no, it just gets to that point where it's like, oh yeah, everything that we don't agree with is something we want censored. And it leads to art being kind of like thrown away. It's similar to what I wouldn't say like directly similar, but it correlates with what like some of the English translation teams do, or like the American translation teams. It's very similar to what they do for like video games and anime. They're destroying the original image of something uh, when that just wasn't what it was like to begin with. They're physically just going, yeah, no, this we're not okay with, so we'll just destroy it. We'll tear it down, build something new. And again, you might say, oh, but like, it's just like cloth over the chest, that doesn't change much. And no, it really doesn't. But again, if that was what you wanted her to be like, why make the model first and have that model be in? Have that the model that's actually in the game that we see originally, and then change it. Because now it looks like you tested it with that model and thought, well, maybe this is too risque. Why are you seeing it as risque? Because it's not. It's just an outfit. And like, I complain if they did that to any character. By the way. Unless it was something that's like a fix, or, oh, hey, let's give this person a costume, so they change the outfit. Like, I'm not going to complain about Miyabi's new outfit that we got, that we know is coming now. I don't like it because it reminds me of Phylum Heights, and I don't really like Phylum Heights. I feel like Season 2 added way too much fucking magic to the game. Where this game feels like it's supposed to be, like, tech-based. They're just straight up adding fucking magic. And that feels fucked up to me. I hate that. Like, I really don't like the mashup of fucking everything. Like, I don't want it to be, oh yeah, hey, here's fucking here's a whole like fantasy world inside of your dystopian future world. That's like adding magic to fucking Cyberpunk. Do you want fucking wizards and witches in Cyberpunk? Because, like, the whole Yishuan thing is just like, oh yeah, we're adding characters who can just fucking do shit by themselves instead of, oh yeah, you know, everybody else who has to use, like, technology to do their shit. Well, we're not gonna do that. We want our characters to just have fucking magic. That's not to do with the censorship thing. That has nothing to do with that. That's just something I dislike about this game. I don't want it to be another fucking, oh yeah, let's just make like all of the Hoyo games feel like each other. Because once you start adding magic, it just becomes Genshin Impact. Because in Genshin Impact, I swear I remember seeing something about it where they added a bitch who's just like on a motorcycle. who just looks like she's like from Honkai Star Rail. Honkai Star Rail has more reason to be like, oh yeah, we're mixing the types because you're visiting different worlds that would each have their own like cultures. And some of them might be, let's say, you know, more I guess what you call tribal or barbaric, where some would be more technologically advanced. It makes sense more for Honkai Star Rail. Why would this game involve magic? Because the miasma, the shit you can do with miasma is already magic, essentially. Like, the shit they introduced motherfuckers can do in 2.x with miasma is just magic. Which I disliked. Sure, you can't say, oh, but the game is supposed to be realistic. It's not supposed to be realistic. I get that, but like, why is there magic in a system where we know like tech control shit? We got like sentient fucking machines. Literally have sentient machines. So there's no reason to be like, we have actual sentient machines. We got fucking machines that can manipulate ether. We've got all of that shit. So explain how this bitch Yishuan is just able to do all of this shit that she does without the need for any machines. Because the explanations they give aren't good. Because it's just feeling like, oh, well, now we're just gonna add fucking magic. I hate it. I really hate the magic bullshit in this game. That's, again, the one thing that I just don't want. There's no reason to have magic. Or any kind of magic. But, yeah, no. Overall, I'm very... This is a bit off topic from the censorship thing. The censorship thing I don't like in general at all, either. I got off on a tangent of talking about how much I dislike the magic bullshit that they were adding. Hopefully they change that in 3.x. It's less magic-based. They stop doing the whole fucking magic thing. I really hope so. Because there's no reason to have it in the game. But I dislike the whole censorship thing because it is a, oh, we give you an inch, you ask for a mile after. It's kind of like how Patreon used to support all kinds of artists. Any kind of artist you wanted to be, you could be on Patreon, and people could support you through it. But some people complained, and now, like, the whole of the art community, if they have anything in SFW, even me, I was affected by this. That's what happened with my coffee, I guess, because I had some of my writings, and I used to do NSFW writing. I had some of my writing up there, and they decided, No, no, that's not. We don't want that. So we're unpublishing your account because of it. Uh, so no, it is genuinely something that's like you cannot, under any circumstances, do NSFW on a lot of sites. Uh, which is fucked up. You can't do NSFW art, which is just censorship. It really just is. But then you have shit that's like, quote unquote, educational on YouTube. That's, oh hey, here's how I nair my butthole. Or, here's how you breastfeed children. Uh, which is like, why include that? You could say, oh, it's educational. What makes that educational? An adult isn't gonna be like, oh, let me go see how to nair my butthole. Or, let me go see how to breastfeed my own child. For the breastfeeding thing, that comes naturally. That just comes naturally. Like, whether you do a breast, like a breast milk pump, or you just breastfeed your child naturally. That comes naturally. Or you could use actual, like, if you wanted to be an educational thing, you could have simulations of real breasts instead of being like, oh yeah, here's just my full-out tits on YouTube. Or here's my full-on butthole on YouTube. Because then you get into the, oh, well, it's educational content, and now it's being directed toward people who are looking for educational content, which might be children, you know? And then why does a child need to know how to nair a butthole? Or breastfeed another child? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's not educational. It's just some motherfucker being like, yeah, no, I'm gonna see how much I can get away with. Or, I'm gonna see, because sex sells, this will get me attention. So, like, the difference in, like, educational content versus, like, straight up other stuff is weird. Because someone might just draw art for the love of drawing art. You know? They might just do NSFW art, but now it's being seen as, oh, this is just porn. And to some people, it might be. Just like to some people, those educational videos are porn. Which is stupid. It's annoying. It's annoying that actual artists who work so hard to develop their craft are being straight up, like, fucking muted, bound and gagged by shit like Patreon and stuff when they're just wanting to make a living out of being an artist. Where, when someone can go on YouTube and say, oh, this is an educational video on how to nair a butthole. Like, what? What? You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Because somebody's gonna see that as erotic. Just like the breastfeeding. That's a kink. Breastfeeding is a kink, by the way. So how is it educational? But then an artist who would draw the same thing is seen as, oh, well, you're just drawing porn. It doesn't make sense. Because again, art is and has always been subjective. I don't do porn, but I appreciate, like, a lot of artists. I can't a lot of times, actually. I have medical things that make that. Like, that make me not able to do a lot of that kind of thing. But besides that, uh, even if I can't, like, go and do that, I can't jerk it. Uh, I still look at, like, what most people consider, like, erotic art. And I'm like, oh, that person's really good at art. And then I'll follow them on Twitter and shit like that because I appreciate their art. I can't support them monetarily. I wish I could. But I appreciate their art, even if I'm not what you would say is gooning to it. It's just like, the art is subjective entirely. Like, it might be erotic to some, but not erotic to others. But you can still appreciate the art aspect of it. It makes no sense as to why that's just, like, not allowed. So long as I would... Ow. And I'm not, like, advocating for there just to be, like, straight up porn on YouTube. To be fair. I'm just saying, like, the censorship aspect is very stupid. Because, again, due to censorship and shit like that, people wanting more censorship, like Patreon and a lot of these donation sites for that artists used to use, they can no longer use. And they're having to try to find places that they can use in order to basically, like, do what they want to do and what they're good at as a career. It's just ridiculous. Because that's what censorship leads to. Any amount of censorship can lead to that. At some point, if censorship continues, all the characters in the game, you see that woman back there with her thighs out? See that? With her thighs? That'll be covered. See that chest? That's actually more than what she had. Because the girl didn't even have cleavage. Norma doesn't have cleavage. That cleavage right there, that is more than Norma had. It's showing less skin, technically. But that is more what you would call erotic than fucking, what Norma had. So censoring that makes no sense. But eventually, if censorship continues to go that way, that cleavage, it's gonna be covered up. The thighs, it's gonna be covered up. Until you aren't even allowed to show, like, some bitch's fucking ankle without it being seen as a problem. I know some cultures have that. However, this is not made by that culture. It shouldn't be restricted to that just because somebody wants to complain that it's, and it seems very targeted towards, like, what you would consider, like, anime or art in general. It's not being targeted at shit that's actually, like, IRL or damn near softcore porn. It's not being targeted at when you walk through a mall. I've made this comparison before. Like, when you walk through a mall, you see a Victoria's Secret. You're walking through with your kids, right? You see a Victoria's Secret, and then there's just half-naked women all over it. There's just lingerie out. There's half-naked women being displayed at the front of the store. Like, that's not going to be censored. They're not going to censor that because, it's just a lingerie ad. But if it had pictures of an anime woman in that lingerie, that's when it would become a problem. And they would say, hey, censor this. But why? Why is that? Because anime is not targeted to children. Anime is not targeted to children. Most anime is targeted at late teens and early adults. And then you have even more niche one. There is anime that's targeted specifically for children. Like Doraemon is targeted towards younger children. It's an actual children's show. Whereas things like Naruto, not targeted towards children. It's targeted for teens, late teens, and early adults. It is not targeted towards children at all. So, like, what makes that seem targeted towards children? That's like saying the fucking, because there's some shit way back in the day that's like rubber hose, porn, essentially. And this was made, again, way back in the day. But it wasn't censored. It was just there. It existed. And it was obviously not targeted toward children. And it was a Western thing. It was something from here, from the US. It was made here. What, like, genuinely, what makes something targeted towards children, if, you know? Because anime isn't. It really isn't. There's a lot of things people say that are targeted towards children that just aren't. Like, a lot of the vape stuff, sure, you could say, oh, a lot of children got a hold of them, but that wasn't the fault of the flavors. That was the fault of people selling it to them. But, what I used to use was Juuls. You know, the Juul. I used to use those way back. And, like, they were good, you know? But then, eventually they stopped being like, oh yeah, because so many kids are getting a hold of these. Like, so many, like, late teens and stuff are getting a hold of these. We are going to ban the sale of anything that's flavored on them, because the flavor is targeting children with their flavor names and stuff. When it's not. It's really not. It's obviously a tobacco product. Or, you know, simulated tobacco product. Hell, like, it's literally just on the people who sold them to them. And then if an adult buys it, gives it to a kid, like, that's their problem. That's the adult's fault. Not the fault of the product. There's a lot of shit that's, like, I consider censorship, and that's not necessarily censorship, but, like, it's a good example of, like, people saying, oh, something's targeted for children, when it's obviously not. It's just obviously not. So, like, that excuse doesn't hold water. It doesn't hold weight. Because I'm sure more children are paying attention to the more realistic shit. Because they're like, oh, this is realistic. Like, somebody in their teens is gonna take a picture of a fucking... well, actually, they could look it up online now, but back before that was a thing, you'd take like a picture of it, and then save it on your phone, you know? Because I grew up with flip phones. We didn't have smartphones way back then. We didn't have the box phones. I'm not that old. But we had flip phones when I was a kid. Uh, Now back then, I could look up like uh, anime stuff past the safe searches because nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew what that word meant. Uh, and it would just get past the Google safe search. So like that was how I was introduced to that in like elementary school. And it really didn't affect me because I knew about it at that point. Like I just knew about it by then. So kids gonna find a way to get to it if they're looking for it. Other kids aren't. Not everybody's gonna be looking for it. Sure. And it wasn't the colors and what they say brought me in. It wasn't that, oh, it's an animated show. You know? It was the fact that I myself I had hit puberty very early on in my life. By third grade, I was having a mustache. Like, actually. I hit very early puberty. So, I was going through those changes in, like, elementary school. It wasn't something that was like, you know, oh. And I will say, we don't have to teach kids earlier about that either. I will say that. I don't like the idea of teaching kids super early about that kind of stuff. I was a bad kid in that I knew about that kind of shit beforehand. I was bad with that in that regard. But yeah, no. I've been sitting here talking for like fucking half of the video. Literally. Like I was done in like 19 minutes. But either way, that's my rant. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to support me, you can go down there. I have a link for Honeygain, which will get you money as well as me money. It's a lot slower. It's very slow. But you do eventually get money out of it. You have to have a PayPal in order to get the money out of it. And I would use it only if you had unlimited internet. And there's also my Ko-Fi link, my Ko-Fi, coffee. I'm gonna say Kofi. Or coffee. God, I fucking can't speak, can I? My coffee link down below is only if you have expendable income and you like my content enough to support me. Because I don't have anything on there to offer you. Eventually, I might offer some stuff on it. But right now, I don't have anything to offer. So, take that as you will. Either way, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.